Hi everybody, it's Becca with Harmony Horsemanship, and I am starting this as an introduction so you can learn a little bit about me, and then I'll show you around to my horses. In this video you'll get to see them, obviously not here but where they're at. But I started riding when I was about 9, and it was just with a neighbor's, their horses and everything, and I went over there. And I've been riding pretty much ever since. It's been like 16, 17 years, something like that. I don't know, I'd have to do the math. But it's been that long. But the majority of my riding was always self-taught. Self-taught until I was about 16. Did a working student position when I had moved to Oklahoma for a little bit and worked at a barn there. Then I moved back to my current hometown, which is Nevada. Or home state, rather. But, and I started looking around at different places and doing different things and all that when, just trying to keep riding as much as I could. I started another working student position a couple years after moving back, and that lasted for a few months. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do Saturdays, and that's really what they wanted. So and it was really far. It was like an hour from where I lived, which isn't necessarily a big deal, but when you gotta drive yourself and pay for the gas and you don't have any money that you're making, it's a little bit more challenging. But I got my first horse when I was 12. His name was Amigo, and got some pictures up here of him for you guys. And he was actually a rescue, and my neighbor that I originally started riding with originally rescued him, and then I helped her kind of bring him back to life and get him back into health and everything, and then she eventually gave him to me, and I had him up until I had to move to Oklahoma, and he was like 28 or guesstimated at that time of how old he was, and it was just going to be a long trip to go from Nevada to Oklahoma. It was just going to be hard on him, and we don't really have a place in Oklahoma for him to go, so I found a new home for him, which it actually worked out good. He went to a family with a little girl with autism and was going to be her kind of therapy horse, and he was always great with kids and everything, and he was just a little sweetheart. And he was also the first horse that I ever had that really liked bananas. So that was his favorite treat, was the banana. And then after that, I've had a few other horses. I got a couple of Arabians when I still had Amigo that were also given to me. And I eventually just found them homes because it was a lot more than I knew what to do with, more than I could handle for what they needed, and it was just way too pricey for what I was able to afford at the time. Because Amigo, because of his neglect and everything when he was the skin and bones and all that, his teeth had pretty much worn away. He didn't really have any, so he had to have pelleted feed soaked in water. Excuse me, pelleted feed soaked in water for him to actually eat anything and get any calories and all that. So that, on top of regular horses that had just hay and everything, it was just way too much that I could afford. And then I found them homes. It was a gelding and mare pair that were bonded basically they'd always been together forever, and they were in their late teens when I had gotten them. And then when I moved to Oklahoma, I had the original person that I did working student with moved because their family was in the military, and so she moved off with her husband to a new place where he was stationed at, and the person that took over ended up buying a horse that was allegedly going to be for me, and he was a solid black paint. He was probably about 15.3, maybe 16 hands. He might not have been quite that tall, but he was on the taller side, but he was very stocky, very bulky, very big, and he was really pretty looking, but he didn't really have much training on him. The people had advertised him as like a trail horse kind of thing, but there's just something off about him. And one of the times that I was there at the barn to get him saddled, he ended up breaking the cross ties, which were just wooden poles, but he snapped one of them in half and broke the line off of the other side of the other one, and run off. And I don't know what caused it, because I had went to grab the tack and stuff, and I wasn't even near him yet, but he knew where I was, and he was really chill and quiet, and then all of a sudden he just spooked and broke that stuff. So then we went to start doing some groundwork with him, and I guess one of the times the other lady said that he broke her saddle. I'm not really sure all the details. I wasn't there, so I don't know how it happened, but we ended up just moving on from him because it was just more than any of us wanted to were really able to do with. She wasn't a trainer really, and at that point I was only about 9-ish months into really riding and really learning, so it was beyond my expertise then. And then when I moved back, I didn't have any horses for a really long time, and it was hard, but I had places that I went to ride for other people and work their horses and help them out with that, so that helped. And then after I graduated with my associate's degree, I sent out applications to different barns because I wanted to work in a barn, and I started working at the one that I am currently at right now, which is Sheridan Creek Equestrian Center. And so I work now at Sheridan Creek Equestrian Center, and I started out more as kind of a groom a little bit, and then also doing guided trail rides, which I have another video for that for talking about things like that. But I started there, and then about, I would say a year and a half after starting there, I got River. And I talk about how I got her in the video of introduction and everything, but a little bit again is I got her from a mutual vet that knew her former owner and knew us and everything, and he was looking for a home for her. She was 3 years old. She was race trained, but never made it to the track, not because she was too slow or anything, but actually because of an injury, bowed tendon, and it wasn't too bad that she wouldn't be able to heal from it or wouldn't be able to do anything else. She is doing stuff now, but it was bad enough that he didn't want to race her anymore. And there was a few others that were like that, but she was the one that I ended up choosing. So that's how I got her, and then now I have 3 altogether, including River, which is nice. I like it, but it is a lot of work and a lot of time-consuming stuff working with all of them and keeping them up and everything. So, but you'll meet them all in a little bit here. And so I started Harmony Horsemanship as my own personal business in September of 2018. And so it'll be 2 years in September this year that have had Harmony Horsemanship as my own business, and I started doing that because I wanted to get more into training horses. I wanted to work with horses more, and I wanted to teach students more than I wanted to guide trail rides. And so I'm hoping to continue to move in that direction and move away from the guided trail rides even more. And so that is just a little bit about me, and if you have any questions or anything, you can leave some comments in the comments below. You can leave some questions, comments, whatever you want to know about me if you have any other questions. And if you have any questions about my horses that I introduced you to, you can do that too. And in a separate video, I will have a barn tour, and we'll go over that too, and then we'll start going over some of the things that I want to do in these videos. And I do apologize that this thing is glitching a little bit. I don't know what's happening with it. It's it hasn't done that before. It's rather new, so I'm not really sure what's going on with it, but I do apologize. But I wanted to just get this out there. I keep recording these over and over and over and over again, and I just want to just do it. And you've probably heard my dog in the background, so I gotta go and take care of her and get her out, but I'll do some more in a little bit, and I'll do you'll see me again at the end of this video after you get the intro to my horses and everything. I'll come back on and talk about my plans for this channel and what I'm gonna do. Alright, so this is Lyra, L-Y-R-A. She is a 2009 Mustang mare. Here is her brand, kind of hidden underneath her mane there. And then she actually has another one back here on her hip, which I will talk about in a moment. It's kind of hard to see, but it's right there. There you go. She's a little dirty. But Lyra was actually round up
in February of 2019. So as a 10-year-old, so she lived 10 years in the wild. I'm really close. But she was 10 years in the wild before she was rounded up. And then I got her July of 2019 for the 2019 Las Vegas Tip Trainer Challenge. So what that is a trainer challenge. Anybody can sign up from, I believe, the age of 12. I'll have to double check on that, but anybody under 18 is youth, and then anybody over 18 and over obviously is adult. You can't eat the camera, lovely. Whoa, you can't. Boop. But anybody can apply and sign up, and you get assigned a Mustang. You can choose from, so they usually get like a list of Mustangs and everything that you can choose from, and then it's kind of a first come first serve, so whoever put in their application first gets their first pick, and then it goes from there. So we'll say your first pick is the same as somebody else's. If you got yours in first, then you get it, otherwise it goes to your second pick or down. So she was actually my second pick. My first pick was a gorgeous blue roan, but obviously, you know, other people are gonna get there because I got my application in like the day before the deadline, original deadline, before I got it extended. But she was my second pick. Now, I didn't realize she was actually 10 when I got her. Yes, pretty girl. She's very playful, but I did not realize she was 10. I didn't pay attention to a lot of the details, other than that she was, you know, a mare and not a filly kind of thing. I wanted one that I could potentially start riding before the event if I got to that point. Now, I had never worked with a Mustang from the very beginning, from out of the wild. So this was a very interesting thing. And she still has a lot of Mustang wild horse tendencies, even now. Sometimes if I come in here, she'll get a little tense, a little jumpy. Now you saw she's being very lovey, very interested and curious and enjoying the things. But sometimes at the very beginning when I first come in, she still like braces for a moment, and then she's like, oh yeah, people and cookies and stuff. So there's that. Right there, she just flinched for, I don't know why. She's just a weirdo sometimes. But it was a really great experience, and she did really well. We ended up last place at the event, so when you show, it's all in hand. You do handling and conditioning, and then a trail thing, and then a freestyle. So it's the youth. So it's the same stuff that the youth division does in the Extreme Mustang Makeover, all of the in-hand stuff, but that's it. As far as that goes. So we ended up last overall throughout all 3 of the classes that we had to do, but I was really proud that she made it there and that we got it there, because it was very challenging, and she was very hard to get to. It took me about a month and a half before I could really halter her and lead her, and then another couple weeks before I even got her into a round pen to really work with her. So she does really good. She picks up all 4 feet, although her left hind is, she's a little touchy on, and you can see her little hip number there from her show. That was her number. She was number 29, but that brand here, it actually says HC on it, and what it is I was told that some wild horses, mares only, will have that, and it's actually to do with when they're in the wild and they get fertile, not fertile, but they get treatments, fertility treatments, so either fertility blockers, or I don't know if it's sterilization that they might get, but I didn't get a whole lot of details in that, but that was something that they said, was that it's usually some sort of birth control treatment for the mares out there that they get. So I can't say whether or not she still has it, if it's a permanent thing, or what it is, but, or when she got it, because that was on her when I got her, and it could have been just before she got rounded up, it could have been years before, months before, who knows. But I'm sure somebody does somewhere. But yeah, so that is her story. All right, this is River. This is Pirelli. They're all standing here waiting for their grain because they are spoiled butts. So I'm gonna set this up on my car back here. There, you won't really see much, but that's all you'll really get to see is River being a butthead. Okay. So, River is a 2014 thoroughbred mare. She was originally bred and trained for the track, but she ended up getting a bowed tendon on her front left leg as a 3-year-old. So she never actually made it to any races, but I managed to get her through a mutual vet of mine and the owners, her former owners. So her jockey club name is actually Kissing Sunset, out of the sire Sierra Sunset. And I don't remember her dam's name, something with kissing in it though, hence her name Kissing Sunset. And that's River being River, going back and forth on the buckets, which she's actually supposed to be eating what's in the red one, but she always moves. It doesn't matter which one I put down, she'll always take whichever one is supposed to be Pirelli's. Because Pirelli here is a 22, will be 23-year-old Dutch warm blood, and he gets senior feed, but he doesn't get a whole lot of it that I'm not too worried about, and being her as a thoroughbred, she can use those calories, so he'll be fine with what he has. She'll be fine. Once I start adding in more stuff for her as she works more and she'll need more calories, then I'll start separating them a little bit and making sure they get what they're supposed to have. But yeah, back to River. I got her from the former owner and everything, and I've had her for 3 years, so she's been just working on becoming a dressage horse, possibly jumping depending on how she goes, but I've been taking it easy and slow, making sure she doesn't re-injure herself. And then Pirelli over here, I was given him from somebody, and he actually used to be a 3rd level dressage horse, and he was a premium rated gelding for the North American Dutch Warm Blood Society. And so he's a good boy. He's actually a lesson horse here. Hi, buddy. I'm very messy. He likes his food. There's their mush. I always put a lot of water in my horse's grain. The reason for that being is because they're not really designed to eat grain in the way that it is made. So the water helps them to digest it easier so that they have less likely of a chance of getting a impaction.
Okay, so one of the things that I want to do is I want to do a video series of horse ownership and just all the basic stuff that you should know, that you need to know. For anybody who is new to horses or wants one day, anybody who's been out of the game for a while, just some refresher stuff as well as just good information for anybody who needs it. And I want to do a series with that. It's basic horsemanship and go through all the different things that is good to know. And then I want to continue the series into more advanced stuff. I also want to do a series on writing and different things with writing, mostly English because that is what I know. Some minor Western stuff in the beginning and everything, but I really don't know anything within the Western industry. So like reining, barrels, things like that. I don't know that, so I'm not going to focus on anything like that, at least myself in particular. I might do a few videos of things with that, like taking a lesson with somebody who knows it, it, or doing a video with somebody who does know it, who has their own horse and things like that. And I also want to do video request videos and critique videos. You guys can request things from me, and you guys can send me videos, and I can critique what you're doing and help you kind of just move along on things. And I also do videos of me training and working with my horses. I am registered membership with the International Liberty Horse Association, so I will be doing some stuff with that as well, working towards liberty work and things with that, and jumping and dressage and various things with that. And as far as the critiques and requests goes, I'll have another video up in a few weeks of how you can go about that and what my plan is with that. And then I also want to do videos just kind of you guys can send me some videos of just random ones out there, and I'll watch it, and you guys can kind of see me react to it. Reacts videos like that. I know there's a lot out there, so I'm not focusing a whole lot on those types of videos, but I'll do some of that and some fun things. And then one of the other things that I'm gonna do is I am actually gonna end a lot of these videos with dumb horse jokes, because I think that's something that we could all use. It's just a little bit of laugh, and plus dumb horse jokes are always fun.